The mainstream media has been absolutely seething over the fact that Sony did not keep Concord servers up, that they cut their losses and ran while they could have, and now Kotaku's put up yet another piece saying the biggest fans of the game are talking about loving a game that everyone else loved to hate. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, it's not going to surprise many of you to hear that basically everybody hated Concord, and yes, there were a few individuals who were extremely passionate and dedicated, saying they were going to play it no matter what happened, they were going to try to earn all the achievements, and there were a few individuals on social media that were laughing at the fact that they were able to obtain a platinum trophy for this game, but the majority of people didn't, and it's not like this ever had hundreds of thousands of players in game. As far as we know, it sold roughly 25,000 copies, which is abysmal for a company the size of Sony, and now Kotaku is yet again coping and seething over the fact that this game died because of, quote, toxic gamers. This was written by Ethan Gotch, somebody who hates gamers, but that's really not a shocker because everybody at Kotaku feels this way. It says when they learned that Concord would be shutting down in as little as 72 hours, some of its biggest fans rushed to immortalize their time with the embattled Sony exclusive in a way only PlayStation players can, by earning a platinum trophy. Oh yeah, all 5 of the game's fans rushed to immortalize their time with it. I mean, this title didn't have any players. Never mind, you had a slew of them running to get achievements. Kotaku basically chose a single individual on social media who got the platinum trophy to write an entire puff piece on this game about. One single person said it's finally done after 60 hours of no sleep and constant pain, but the reward is worth it. They got the platinum trophy. Probably one of maybe 3 people in the existence of the world who got the platinum trophy. But instead of just saying, hey, yeah, there are definitely some people who hated this game, they attack us and belittle us, saying the worst types of people on the internet hated this game from the very beginning. It says there are always bad games that get panned at launch and quickly turn into memes. In 2021, it was Balan Wonderworld. In 2022, it was Babylon's Fall. Last year, it was Gollum. But Firewalk Studios' Concord wasn't a bad game. The visuals were high-end, the gunplay felt good, and many who actually played it had fun, even if it was missing the standout heroes or gameplay hook to keep people coming back. Now, I streamed Concord when the open beta was going on, and I've played a lot of hero shooters. I play a lot of games on this channel, and I absolutely hated it. They just cannot accept the fact that it was a bad game. I personally actually like the monetization system. I would much prefer having to pay something like $40 up front with no battle passes and loot boxes and microtransactions, but this was Firewalk Studios' first release, and they are competing with games like Overwatch that are free to play. So it probably was a very bad decision for them to go in that direction from the start, but it was a bad game. It was not good. The gameplay was extremely clunky. The character designs were awful. Even the character backstories were cringeworthy. I mean, this game in totality was basically their attempt to make a game for modern audiences, and there's not many people who fall into that category. They're primarily sensitive snowflakes on social media, and newsflash, for the 100th time, these people don't buy video games. They do not play video games. So instead of actually making a visually appealing game with a very fun gameplay hook, they said, this is for the modern audiences and they're surely going to show up to buy it, but nobody did. It was a terrible game, and Kotaku just cannot accept that. They have taken the failure of this title so personally, and in my opinion, it's hilarious because they could just say, yeah, people didn't like it. But no, instead, it's because of toxic individuals who didn't play this game are the reason why it failed. Companies constantly say, if you don't like it, don't buy it. We don't want your purchase. And that's what people decided to exhibit here. The fact that they can withhold their credit card, the fact that they don't have to purchase video games that do not look appealing. And now it's, oh, you guys didn't actually play it, so you don't know if it's fun. That's why I play so many trash games on my channel. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Dustborn, Concord, because I want to be able to throw back in these idiots' faces, yeah, I actually played it, because they think that, oh my god, you just didn't play it. No, I just didn't like it. It's as simple as that. This was not a game that deserved your money. They said many didn't actually play it, though. The biggest story around Concord wasn't that it was mediocre, but that it was a ghost town. Yes, it was a ghost town. Nobody liked it. Nobody was interested in it. And even when you look at the open beta that was free to everyone and there was actually no content that was restricted from the final release, it wasn't enough to draw people in. That right there is evidence enough that this game was simply a failure because it wasn't good, not because of toxic chuds on the internet who refused to play it. They actually even interviewed Twitch streamers who were talking about how the game had been misrepresented so poorly in just about every way from various perspectives that it felt inevitable, even going on to talk about, of course, woke culture and making fun of us for calling this game woke, even though that's what it is. The amount of negativity and hatred towards the game, myself, anyone who supports it, Firewalk, and PlayStation, are all concerning for various reasons. It feels like it's more popular to hate on things you don't like than show support for things you do like nowadays. When companies are constantly trying to take our money and they constantly are belittling us, that should be called out. And yes, if you like Concord, that's awesome. Keep defending it on social media. If you like Firewalk, keep talking about them on social media. But while you are allowed to support Firewalk, we are allowed to criticize Firewalk. It's really just that simple. It became easier to armchair analyze why Concord was failing than to engage with what it actually was. The colorful, rotating cast of misfit sci-fi mercenaries inspired unflattering comparisons to Overwatch's heroes, while the $40 price tag became an easy punching bag for those who considered any competitive shooter that wasn't free to play dead on arrival. Then there was the brigade of online anti-woke culture warriors who simply attacked the game for having a diverse roster. It's fine to have a cast of diverse characters within your game, but they cannot simply be token characters. You have to have a good diverse character who has a good backstory, good abilities, has a place within this world, and actually makes sense. Just because you have a diverse cast of characters does not mean it is okay. You are simply using them as a shield from legitimate criticism, because there is a hell of a lot of it when it comes to Concord. The gameplay was bad, the maps were bad, and for $40, they weren't giving you anything that these other free-to-play games like Overwatch are. They did not do a good enough job with this game. But of course, just because they have women and people of color in their game, they're instantly going to say that we're racists and we're sexists and we're toxic, which is absolutely pathetic behavior. Now, I expect this from an outlet like Kotaku. It's not the first time that they've defended Concord, and hell, I don't think it's going to be the last. I'm sure over the next couple of weeks and months, they're going to continue to do their best to defend this title in Firewalk, and they're probably going to continue coping over the fact that it was an epic failure. But instead of just coming out and saying, hey, listen, people didn't like Concord, but there were also a few that liked it, they decide to attack us for criticizing this god-awful game. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.